Yo, 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 how's it going again here, you mother duckers? We're here for another week of the Pondcast with some, once again, amazing, absolute chads from the crypto space. Absolutely exciting to have some of the most prominent influencers on this space, and the two duos that we have today is surely somebody that you have heard from before, Kid Crypto and Walter from the greatest show on earth, the world famous Kid and Walter show.
Yeah, bro, you gotta say it like this. Whoa, Kid and Walt show, baby.
Walt, I've never even seen you dox before. I don't think we're
Super doxed, baby. Come on now, bro. Been doxed for almost 5 years plus in the space when dox was dox, man. But yeah, man, I'm here. Just alive, loving life right now here in South Beach in Miami. And, I encourage everybody here. Forget to buy. Come to Miami. Come meet Walt, baby. Let's go.
I absolutely love that pencil stash, by the way. I myself am one of those Raleigh fingers, twist the tips kind of guy. So.
Oh, man, you already know it.
Yeah, I love it, man. You are exactly what I imagine out of a freaking South Florida chat. Kid Crypto, how's it going, man? Happy to have you on the space too.
Hey, what's going on, guys? No, absolutely loved the space. Glad to be on. Glad to chop it up with you guys, man.
Oh yeah. Well, I appreciate having you guys here today. As I mentioned before, we absolutely love, as the Doug the Duck project, to be able to come out on your spaces and to be able to talk about our project. And of course, you guys being prominent, meme coin investors yourself and meme coin supporters yourself, you guys give a platform for some of the highest performing meme coins in the space. And for me, that is like one of the bullish things ever to have you guys on the space, because a lot of these spaces are really about, some of the best influencers in the space talking about what makes memes great within crypto. So once again, your space is an absolute chad, and we love having you guys here.
Yeah, man. Thank you for all the kind words, guys. But you guys are doing amazing projects. Like you will bring out the best in me and Kid. And, we came in here, to really, make a mark. And, and at this point, we've helped out so many projects, and, from the big names that, people know from Giga Chad, to even back then, projects like GameStop, right, on Solana, Grok, where me and Kid actually found each other was, in Elongate and Telegrams, and almost took that to $1 billion and was part of the first Elon, Musk meme. And look at this now, freaking Elon being now like in part of the, the government cabinet of the United States. It's been a movie, man. Trump winning. I don't think we've ever seen, a pro-crypto government in the United States, and it's happening, man. So, and everyone knows now that memes are the heart of crypto, brother. They know it. And at first, I didn't really know if I was doing the right thing. Me and Kid, I would ask him, are we doing the right thing? Just only really talking mostly on meme coins and stuff like that. And it just took a life of its own. And I truly did believe we were the heart of crypto, but it took everybody to start knowing the life-changing gains happen in memes. And we just saw that with our back-to-back headliners of Peanut, the squirrel, right? And then Act 1 that just went over to Binance. Peanut went to 2 billion. We had him around 20-30 million as the headliner. Went to 2 billion a couple of weeks later. And then Act 1, we had around 20-30 million as well after correcting, going to 80-90 mil. And it went over to 800 million, man. So literally, all it takes is just one play, and you're a giga duck, baby. You're a giga duck.
And we'll go in a little bit further on in the spaces here today. We'll talk about what makes a great meme and all things considering, and your thoughts about meme coins this cycle. But, you guys spend so much time supporting good projects in the space, and you're both humble individuals. And really what I want the space to be, and what I really like these space to be, is an opportunity to meet the person behind the mask, behind the name. So in that regard, man, I love to ask questions about you guys, so you guys have an opportunity to chat by yourself. So don't feel like you got to pump other projects. and pump Doug as much as you want, but don't feel like you got to pump Doug too much. This is our space, and we're excited to have you here as guests. What I really want to know, guys, is, what was your entry into crypto? When did you start the whole crypto, kind of scene and stuff? And what was your first cycles like? And ultimately, how did you find your way into becoming an influencer? Kid, we'll start with you. You're muted, by the way.
I'm sorry, it was cutting out there for a second. What was that last thing you said? I'm sorry.
No problem, man. I was saying, giving you guys an opportunity to kind of talk about, what was your foray, your entry into crypto, and how did you end up transitioning from just being a crypto coin investor into actually being a full-blood influencer in the space?
Yeah, no, honestly, it was something that just kind of happened over time. In real life, I was an executive chef for 15 years, really upper crust type cuisine, formally trained. I worked in Michelin star restaurants and things like that previously. So, I'd been doing that for years and years. I'd been an investor, just for sport. Starting back in the early 2000s, obviously with the dot-com bubble and things, that's where really my interest, in finance and stuff started. One of my neighbors was featured, in some of the top, trading magazines and stuff. I bonded, really cool neighbor and stuff, kind of gave me an entry, taught me a lot of things about the stock market, options, things like that. Flash forward in life, I'd been investing and things like that. One of my roommates, was mining Bitcoin. He was kind of a nerdy guy, awesome dude, my friend, Graham, but he was mining. And my first time ever interacting with crypto was him teaching me how to, make a wallet and stuff. And he owed me some rent money when we were roommating. This was, a while back or whatever. He paid his rent money to me in Bitcoin. I ended up, that computer crashed and I lost, that Bitcoin and stuff a long time ago, but I didn't realize, what it was going to be. And, flash forward into, 2017, obviously like the ICO boom. That's where I, started kind of getting into crypto, beyond just like Bitcoin, obviously Ethereum and, other token Litecoin and, things like that were starting to boom in that bull run. I continued to learn. And then 2020 came about. It put everybody on the shelf. It shut down my work to where, I was furloughed. I was sitting at home. Didn't have much that I could do, at that point, California was super clogged up, even on unemployment. It took me, I believe, about 5 months to be able to even get my unemployment. So thank goodness I had a lot of money in savings and what have you. So I started playing around. I had a bunch of Tesla stocks, things like that. And, I started getting involved with the GameStop saga that was going on at the end of 2020. Got in, relatively early into GameStop, and I started to kind of see this culture, that was like community that was, building around like these investments and stuff. And I was really intrigued by it. It led to Doge because a lot of the people from GameStop, really started talking about Doge because it was very Reddit centric, at that particular time. And, Doge was something that people were tipping each other on Reddit and things like that. So a lot of people took their earnings and then started, jumping into Doge, and we saw it go from like 0.005 to, I remember it was right before the Super Bowl. It hit like 7 cents or 6 cents or what have you. And then, after the Super Bowl, it went up to like 8-9 cents. And, I'd found projects like Hoj. I was finding out about, a bunch of different, concepts from before Shiba Inu and things like that. I ended up, started kind of lightly investing. And, right at that same time, we saw that Binance really had its rise. And, it's a little token called Safe Moon. It came out, kind of captivated everybody, I jumped into that, made some good money. And then I found this coin called Elongate in the first couple hours. And it went from, somebody that just, developed and launched it to where, the community took it over literally on that first day. I became a core team member over there. There was, 5 of us on Elongate. I proposed, the idea to do charity. And I actually kind of stole that idea from a project called Grumpy Cat that had, they were trying to donate $50,000 to like an animal shelter. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. Crypto's like donating and doing things like that. And I was like, well, why not be, a meme token that's, built around, philanthropy and altruism and, giving charity. And so we put our heads together and, started to build out Elongate. It went to almost $1 billion market cap, and we had over 500,000 holders worldwide. So I kind of accidentally went from, I say accidentally, but, it was definitely a lot of hard work, but I wasn't even meaning to really get into the DeFi field as far as like a builder. And it just so happened, that, a lot of people were looking at me as like, hey, help lead this thing. And, it was like 5 of us, community members. We ended up buying, control of the project and the deployer and stuff from the original dev. Kind of everybody had chipped in on that. And we donated $4.4 million to different charity. We partnered up with Kimball Musk with the Big Green Foundation, which ended up actually inspiring his own DAO that he does currently for local charities in the U.S. and stuff. And that experience was something that was just, insane. It was great. Met so many people, and, I decided I fell in love with the space, and, it continued working in it. And, me and, Walter had been friends for, quite some time. And, from Elongate where we met each other. And, I'd had this thing that I'd been wanting to do for a long time that we had done with Elongate, and it was hosting community spaces. And, we were bringing projects like I was telling you, like Hoj, Rocket Bunny, Feg. I mean, just all kinds of projects were coming together, and this was early in on Spaces. And, I was like, hey, I want to create a variety show, like we had been doing. And, Walt was like, I've been wanting to build something, like that too. And I was like, well, let's do it, man. We built, our show a couple years back, and, started doing it every single Sunday. And we started in the bear market featuring, a lot of the classic OG big projects. I even had Papa from Safe Moon come on, and, just a bunch of kind of revisiting the winners of the previous bull market, with also people that were still currently building in the space. And we ran that show, and we still run it to today. And that's, kind of how, we built it. We went all in on X before Elon, even really got involved with it. And that honestly, did us wonders as far as help. And, of course, now crypto Twitter is pretty much like a dominant force as far as socials go. And, even during the bear market, projects didn't even want to get on the stage with each other. So we kind of innovated, I guess, show that featured, a variety type space where it featured many different projects. So, that's kind of how we got to where we are now. And, man.
Well, it does feel like a little bit of a different space right now, in the sense that, like you said, there's been a hesitancy for memes to go onto the same platform, the same space, to essentially be alongside one of another. And obviously that's a paradigm change from this cycle to last cycle. What do you think the reasoning is behind that?
Honestly, I think during the bear market, it's very much so a rotators type market. A lot of or actually a little amounts of, crypto are being tossed around, right? So it's a lot more competitive in regards to, what little investment money's in the space. And, and I think that's kind of where a lot of that tribalistic type stuff is, people are like, if the money's in that, then it's not in our community. And, part of what we kind of carved out ourselves was, hey, this is how we're going to run it. If you don't want to, be on a space with other projects, then, I'm sorry, we're not going to, highlight you. And, it also started out as something, that we did, 100% for the culture for free for a long time until we decided, we wanted to quit our jobs and then do this full time. Once we took that jump into a sponsored space, then, obviously things changed a lot. But, really what it boiled down to is we kind of had to, force people like, hey, if you want some, marketing and stuff for your project or to get out there, you're going to have to tolerate other projects. And, there was a lot of projects that refused. And, we've been booted from countless telegrams and things like that of people kind of getting confused. Why are we seeing banners with multiple projects? And it was definitely very foreign. But, the difference as you move into this market, I believe is obviously we're coming up into the bull run, the past, and we even had a uncharted territory as far as like memes in 2023, like Pepe and stuff. But I think people starting to get acclimated because, we kind of set the blueprint. And then you have, a lot of other spaces hosts that, kind of splintered, from being guests on our show to now hosting, their own shows. They saw, how the guys did it, us. And they took that blueprint and they saw that it worked. And, it went from being something that wasn't ever happening to now it was commonplace. So, yeah, now it's the standard. Exactly. So, there's very, very few people, even hosting space. I think B Roots and Ian, they were, some of the hosts, but they weren't really highlighting multiple, projects the same way. So even though they were, way before us and stuff, we kind of reinvented the wheel, so to speak, and didn't really copy, off their formats. We were like, no, we have to be innovative. We can't bite off of what they're doing. We wanted to stay in our, our own lane as well, because, we respect them, in addition to that. And yeah, Coin Merch, another, a host and stuff that's been doing it for a long time. We, honestly looked at them in a similar fashion as well. And yeah, pretty soon everybody's working together. You have new terms and things like player for player, and it's been emerging. Never heard of a thing like that, in the last bull run. Instead of people fighting, with each other, now people are collaborating. Projects are hosting spaces instead of just going to host. Now it seems like every person that is really wanting to create a platform and stuff, they're now utilizing spaces, whether it be project, whether it be individual, because it's a great place to honestly talk about things and get traction to your project. So I think it's something that's just kind of evolved naturally over time, and you have enough people doing it, then it eventually it manifests itself and becomes commonplace.
Well, I appreciate that too, especially because, having more projects within and overall spaces obviously brings more people from different communities, starts spreading the liquidity to additional different coins. Like, I'm sure there isn't an investor out there that is only invested in one coin, right? And as long as you can create these partnerships that a lot of teams are doing nowadays, you start attracting more buyers and stuff. Well, this next question is for Walt. When did you, Walt, partner up with Kid Crypto and come up with the idea for the Kid and Walt show?
Well, it's something that was, just manifesting a lot more. And we kind of talked about it a lot in, in September of 22. And, we were talking about, an idea, and even started with something of, like, why don't we get some projects to talked, versus each other. And, we were just experimenting what we were going to do. And we're like, look, when it's the right time, let's make it happen. And I knew from the start when I met Kid Crypto that it was going to be something bigger. And I saw the potential in who he was. And I was like, this guy's the greatest. He's the greatest of all time. Narrating, telling the lore, like what a true community leader really meant, right? Before even what a CTO was. And actually co-founding the charity Meta. And, it would just, it all just kind of came full circle, right? So of course we had to go through the trenches. But I truly knew around October, November of 22, I said, Kid, we got to get this going. We helped so many projects, but we saw the future of X Spaces. So I said, hey, let's start, the show, right in the beginning of 23, right to front run everything that was going on and truly be like, the MTV, ESPN, meets like, rock concert and all in one. And bring projects together and do it not maliciously, like not where you're, only pumping your bags, talking about what's going on in the whole crypto space. And I even hate the term even influencer because we feel more like ambassadors or more like crypto journalists that tell you what's going on and bringing always the latest and the greatest. And I said, I want to, and you got to manifest these things. You got to say it. And I said, we're going to have the greatest show on earth. And this is even before we even got to our logo and to everything. So it's really big and key on that to, you got to see it and feel it and know it first before you even start, right? But we knew that, memes were going to be, real world assets in real life, right? I believe the first meme ETF is going to come. It could be Pepe, it could be maybe Doge, right? And, but that's really what took what we wanted to accomplish. And the dream was to put projects together, have one big project and be able to, the other project be able to, look at the little projects, and then those whales would come in and then support, and all of us were stronger together because that's what DeFi was really about. So we wanted to make people come together, work for their bags, showcase nothing but the best, and and give people more X's than Taylor Swift, as we call it. But it's something that it's something that you just never quit, right? And I guess we had to go through all that in 21, and I even over leveraged and lost everything. And then I worked my ass off, and I told myself, I'm going to find a way in this crypto. I said, I'm going to leave in 24, 25, the Matrix. I will. And it's been 4 to 5 months since I've been out. And let me tell you, man, like dreams do come true, but we're just getting started. And you always got to have something like the world famous, right? Everyone's got the world famous everything, right? Restaurant around your local town or even in New York, right? Or around the world. There's always that world famous. So I said, we're going to be the world famous Kid and Walt show. And we're going to give people the best of the best. And, it just came all together, man. Just a lot of hard work, consistency, and, and just.
Oh, we lost Walt for a half second. Well, while we wait for Walt to get back in here, which I thought he made a couple of absolutely great points. I think that, Kid, you and him go so well together. I think you guys each have amazing personalities, and obviously you each had the recognition that meme coins were going to be, the it factor of the cycle, the NFTs of this cycle. When do you think you made that realization that like meme coins were like the NFTs of this cycle? And do you think that's something that's going to persist? Do you think meme coins are going to end up being the prominent investment tool through this project? Hey, Walt, we got you back here.
Yeah, so I had a call come in and it knocked me out.
Yeah, to answer your question though, I realized that memes, were special last cycle because I realized that with meme tokens, you have all these great people from different professions, different backgrounds, different parts of the globe. And they're all coming together, right, and volunteering, to help build, right? And, the salary cap that it would take to pay, some of these communities would be ridiculous based off a lot of these expertise, For instance, with, Elongate, I've been managing large communities and brigades of chefs for a while. So I, became kind of the face of the community. We had one gentleman, who was a professor, in philanthropic type studies. We had another guy that was, a head of Bank of Scotland. We had another gentleman who worked with the government of Switzerland. And, to have all these people come together randomly, from a meme and then leverage those skills together, that's where you get the perceived value, right? It's like a brand new way of building, a company, but without any plan. You throw a group of people together all in the same snow globe, and then they decide what that snow globe entails, so to speak. And then people can do whatever they want to do with markets and speculate and stuff. But it's just, a brand new dynamic on how people do business, how they do community. A lot of times I like to say it almost mirrors like the unification of like music and going to concerts and how people identify with different genres or different bands, or, like we had the hippie movement of like the 70s. We had like the punk rock and the rap and stuff of the 80s and 90s. And then, right now, this generation, we're consuming things different than we did 50 years ago. And I would argue that meme tokens have the same sort of niche feeling that we, have seen in previous decades. And I think it's a beautiful thing when you get, these networks of people together, looking out for each other, building and creating value out of thin air.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's people from all walks of life are starting to get into meme coins right now. And it really is a pretty big paradigm switch. And Walt, I asked the same question.
The whole world is coming, baby. The whole world coming. And this is like starting your first, like your IPO, right? Like now you're able to, now you don't have to have such crazy amount of money to start an IPO or start an actual token for your company, for your business. And you can, and we've been seeing this forever, right? Like Kellogg Frost Flakes, right? Like the Tony the Tiger. You got Fruity Loops, right? That damn famous parrot. Like there's always been, like it's been in marketing, guys, already in business. We just did it our way on blockchain. And now it's really becoming something serious that even option traders, and I came from trading. I didn't come from, just, like what's this and new. No, I was doing stock trading in 2017. Actually, I was in Robinhood before they even had 500,000 users. I was part of that. And I saw the future and I said, oh my God, this is so convenient. Trading and stocks and so user friendly. And Robinhood actually set the standard. They set us where we're at now because of Doge, right? They listed Doge, GameStop blew up, AMC stocks, and then people started to be like, oh my God, like and you were seeing
it's kind of that original decentralized platform where you didn't need to throw it through a huge world power third party fucking bank or market maker or exchange. So I mean, I agree with you, man. Robinhood has completely changed the game.
So convenient, right? And even till to this day, my girl uses it, and she's not gonna stop. They just even listed even XRP right now, right? And of course, XRP is centralized, but this shows that Robinhood is onboarding new. And I truly do believe that there's gonna be even meme coins on a popular commercial application on Robinhood. Another one coming besides this Doge and Shiba, and it's just a matter of time. We're gonna see the top 100 tokens is gonna be 30 plus more.
Well, I agree with you too, man. Obviously we've already seen Doge and Shiba on Robinhood, and I don't think a lot of people realize this, but on Robinhood Euro, they actually have already listed Dog with Hat as well as Bonk. And I think there's been this question mark about whether or not that they're going to list it on the Robinhood US version. But I have to think that's coming pretty quick. And I have to imagine they're probably also going to be giving Pepe a sniff, especially after Pepe worked its way into the top 15 meme coins. I mean, at the end of the day, you look across the spectrum, it's like, other than stable coins, meme coins make up almost 25 to 30% of the top 15 market caps right now. I think we are officially solidifying ourselves as a meme coin market this cycle. Now, the question is that going to be just this cycle? Or do you think meme coins are here to stay? Do you think meme coins are going to be the future of next cycle, or is it going to start to transition more to utility now that people understand blockchain better?
Little bit of everything like that you mentioned, but it's still what we call it meme-fi, right? And that it's not, now that we're coming into mass adoption, we're going to see more of, where people can add a little utility. But at this point, it doesn't need really anything. It just, the community is utility, right? As they say. And I saw that firsthand in 21. And that's why the culture of the 2021 vibes we talk about, that all you had to do is just have a community, stick together, believe in whatever the project was about, and then just sing sweet lullabies over and over and over again. And where you're going to be able to, add a little utility for the projects, because it's getting more convenient and more cost effective to add utility to your projects. But I think that you don't really need any utility, and you just need a community. But I do believe there is going to be more coming in, where maybe when projects maybe go to billions, the utility is being used in restaurants, right? In gas stations. We already saw with movie theaters, right, with Doge and Shiba. But I think it's going to be, before we see a lot of that being bullish, I think we're going to see more, where, it's a use case, right, that we can, and that's the whole thing we need to do, is first get Doge to be used around the world, right? I do believe the utility will be coming, but I think it's just different factors, like convenience of, swapping, chain for other chains, like Change Now. There's going to be, more utility of like revenue shares. I see memes more like doing like something, and I saw a project called DCA try to do it like a meme index, where they want to be able to, invest in 5 or 10 memes, and maybe it's plugged into the I think it's needed. But I do believe there's going to be more utility projects, just in general utility. But meme coins and DeFi coins don't really need utility. Just needs a story, a lore. Like, look at the Project Peanut. That escalated very quickly. It had politics. It had a damn animal. It was on the Solana hot blockchain, and it went to billions, 2 billion plus. So it just shows there needs to be no utility, just a great story.
And I told that story to my wife too, the story about Peanut getting killed by the government. And, I was trying to think about that meme, and I was trying to emulate, like, how do I find another good meme like that in the future? And really, to me, what it sticks out is the aspect of anti-government, right? Because everything that Trump posted, everything that Elon posted, really went back to the fact that Democrats are doing nothing to remove illegal aliens and government inefficiency, but they're utilizing government resources to go in and murder your pet squirrel that's inside your house. Like, I think more so than just the fact that Peanut exploded because he passed away, similar to a Harambe scenario, I think the real reason it really exploded is because it was political. It tugged at people's heartstrings. And that kind of leads me into my next question for Kid Crypto is what have you really seen since the election of Donald Trump, and how do you think that's going to affect the crypto market and the meme coin market?
Well, first off, great question to ask me. I went to go see Donald Trump back in May for the Trump Cards Gala. Actually got to meet him. Polygon was there. I know that Frankie Gods was there, a bunch of people from MOG. And I believe it was one of the young fellas from that had his MOG shades on. He was asking, Trump, hey, the current administration is completely, stuffing out business in the U.S. for crypto and people that want to do legitimate things. And I think that's why I'm sorry, somebody just gave me a call. That's why I think, meme coins became so popular, is because with meme coins, there's no promise, right? So you don't have to worry about red tape. You don't have to worry about, being a security and stuff. It simply exists to be a meme coin. So I think the explosion happened when people realized, let's stop putting use case and things like that, and let's really, focus on this. That way, there would be, any sort of repercussion, especially given the previous administration. Now that Trump is in office and what have you, and the fact that he's so pro crypto, really, especially with him saying, crypto companies on soil, U.S. soil and stuff are going to be, no capital gains taxes and different proposals like that, are going to take, businesses like Coinbase that were, threatening to move offshore, because, these guys have been doing everything by the book. Coinbase, Brian Armstrong, he's been doing everything by the book. He was like, look, if you guys can't figure it out, I'm going to have to take my business, offshore. And thank goodness that Trump is elected, because now we're going to see, with the guidance of like Senator Cynthia Lummis and other politicians and stuff that have been, fighting for crypto, her specifically in Wyoming and stuff. And, they're going to be able to, roll out a common sense, type of proposal that brings industry to America rather than pushing it off soil. So I think we're going to, we've already seen the market react to the, Trump election, but I think we're going to continue seeing more and more of that, especially as specifics are released.
I agree, man. I mean, there's so many so many crazy things. Now, I thought I heard you say earlier in the space that you were a California guy. You're an East Coast or Northerner, aren't you?
I'm originally from the East Coast, North Carolina. But yeah, no. Being a chef, I'm pretty well traveled. I was with the same company for a long time that managed a huge fleet of golf courses. So I was a corporate executive chef. They would take me from one spot to the other, basically to make sure that everything was to standard for the whole corporation. And I ended up in Northern California right before COVID time and stuff. That's where I was doing some staging and stuff, Michelin star restaurant, learning some, advanced like foraging type stuff, mycology, mushrooms, the whole gamut of culinary theory and stuff, kind of putting it together there. After being, in, I would say probably middle shelf type kitchens with, the PGA affiliates I worked with and what have you. So, California is kind of where I, switched into the upper crust of restaurants and things like that and technique. But yeah, man, you're right. East Coaster, bro.
Interesting.
Those Car Hills, baby.
Interesting, man. You went from cooking in the kitchen to cooking in the space.
And honestly, with, we know how crazy the field can get, especially in crypto, especially in communities, that are decentralized and stuff. So I felt like I fit in perfectly because, the kitchen is kind of a place where you have all kinds of people, misfits. I mean, you can kind of look at what Anthony Bourdain, would define a kitchen. We're kind of a lot of casts off or people that didn't necessarily fit into the cookie cutter that was the rest of the world. And then it's all about, in a kitchen, consistency, attention to detail, being able to put people in the right spot, right, where they can excel, and being able to recognize that as well. So my expertise was not only scouting but moving people around and just basic people management type skills, right, where you just recognize things and logistically improve things, as much as you possibly can, and that's been my MO. Walter, he was a trauma paramedic and, quite possibly one of the, craziest hospitals, in the world, and, down in Miami and stuff. So both of us kind of come from very high octane professions with very little margin of error.
I know exactly what you're talking about, man. I came from the construction industry and I have seen some shit too. Low margin of error. I've seen projects blow up to the tune of $100 million in damage. I have seen some shit. And honestly, like, the crypto space has really changed. I guess my my stress levels. You know, I think a lot of people get stressed within the crypto space, and you know, like, oh, you know, my coin's up, now it's down, now my coin's up, now my coin's down, and I didn't take any profits, and what do I do next? And like, I think for the people that have come like out of real world with the real world stressors and come into this environment and really enjoy it and don't get too fearful about the coin, and more so take convictions and, like you said, the community, which is really the utmost thing that Walter had mentioned that we're investing in. Like meme coins, the utility for meme coins is the community. And I think it's great that both you guys made mention that that is one of the biggest, most prominent things for what makes a meme coin successful. But other than the community, I'd like to hear like from both you guys, like maybe just one other item each other than community, which is really just the easiest cop out, if you will. We know community is amazing for a project. What else makes a meme coin successful? Walter, we'll hit you first.
Yeah, man, it's all about a great story, right? Or, you know, or a great lore. That's our favorite, right? That's something that comes in together and actually is like, you know, makes sense. You know, it makes it a real conviction play, right? Like example, Peanut. We even saw the project Shrub, right? We actually headlined Shrub 4 months ago, and and I bought a pretty damn well bag. And, you know, I think I bought like about a 10K bag, and that thing it was there and it just went to dust. And I'm like, there's no way, bro. Like this Elon like story is too big, to fail. And we're usually spot on when it comes to Elon narratives. And, you know, I'm like, no way. I'm like, this is looking like this is the official like Tesla mascot. Could be the SpaceX mascot, Elon's. And look at that, 4 months and
Your damn phone calls, Walter. You're a busy guy. I'm kidding.
That's his mom calling.
No, it's the mom.
See what else, the little man. I'm just kidding with you, Walt. But yeah, no, I'll go ahead and segue while Walt tries to reconnect. But you know, my answer would be kind of similar. I look at things in you know. Oh, here, first.
Hear me again. I'm not sure where you guys missed out, but you know, it really is all about, you know, believing no matter what. Shrub is a perfect example, right? From going from all the way even up to like, I think 7-10 mil market cap and going to dust. What was it? Market cap went down, kid? Maybe like 100K or something like that?
It went down into the lowest of the lows that he
still gone. Even if it went to 30, it probably went to 30-50K. Right now, and it's at like, I believe in the 130, 150s, or even you know, adding Elon, you know, having, you know, a great logo, right? An animal, right? And that's where from Doge and Shiba all come, of course, our dogs, right? That started it all. And you know, to just see that it was too big to fail. And you know Elon is always spot on when it comes into great projects, and we've been, I mean, very successful. I don't think nothing's really you know, anything we talk about or actually endorse has done good. Even Catalorian,
you're in and out, bro. Walter.
All right, you guys are. Am I good now?
I don't know. You've been in and out, in and out, in and out. Like somebody's like not giving up calling you.
Oh, you guys hear me clear?
Yeah, I can hear you clear.
Yeah. So yeah, just seeing that, you know, that it just, you know, of course, you know, the Elon is a great example. That's where we came from, and we hold ourselves standard that every project can go to 1 billion plus. You just have to, you know, has to have something great behind it. But of course, the Elon story always gets well, and I think everything is pretty done well. Maybe we're still waiting on the Marvin one on ETH, as well. Like Elon's first, like a pet dog, like not his pet dog, but his actual dog. And we just seen that, you know, when there's always an animal or a story behind it, and something really bullish, it does well. And we seen it right with Dog Wave Hat, right? Had a dog with just a hat. You know, we saw it now with Shrub. That was just a freaking head dog, right?
And freaking bite.
Byte is another one, and I'm wearing the actual shirt today. Look, I love my stuff, right? So I'm always rocking crypto. If it's not meme coins, gear, and I can't wait for Doug the Duck gear. But it just shows that it's always, you need a good story, you need a good animal, and you need a great type of lore behind it. And I think that's what it's all about when it's said and done. And it can do endless things. Look at Peanut went to 2 billion plus. Now I was looking at, if it hit 2 billion now, that thing is hitting 10 billion. Of course, non-financial advice, but you just see that, it always comes through with a great story, great lore, a great animal, and a great community. That's all you need. And we've seen it that only takes one project to make $1,000 to millions of dollars. Millions, could even go higher. It's sickening. Sometimes you hear the 10, $20 million wins that people do. And it's that's what it's all about, right? And it's done, if you're done, it's done correctly, and everything is right, and you take profits, responsible, sky's the limit when you have a great meme project.
Well, I'll kick it back to you, Kid Crypto, before we sign off for the day. What's your biggest factor that makes a meme coin successful?
First off, I look at the meme and I'm like, does it make sense, right? First off, is it tapped into the general, like I look at it from, does it tap into the general world, right? The virality of it and stuff. Pepe, obviously something that has transcended just crypto. It's everywhere, right? We saw Peanut. It was something that was huge, even out of crypto, right? And it really, is represented by, how much of it is tapping in to that attention economy, right? That's part of, what I'm looking at. I mean, second off, when it comes to the actual project and what they're doing is the quality of content, right? And the originality. Like I would say Doug the Duck, you guys, obviously, playing off of Matt Fury and that whole Matt Fury verse, you guys created a whole unique concept with high quality, entertainment and content, for the community to enjoy, which I think, makes things, stand out in a project. So, if it's not something that's necessarily like a top meme or whatever that's existing, it needs to be something really, really creative and unique as well and really stand out. So there's many different niche, of how I would answer that, because it's not a one size fits all, but you either need to be an airtight narrative or you really need to be great at getting out whatever narrative you're creating. I think it's a lot more difficult when that narrative's not there, but these original ones like Doug the Duck and so many projects that have like a very original, when you're putting out that type of high quality of content and stuff, people take note. I mean, like right now, what you guys are doing with Doug the Duck are arguably is like creating your own cartoon series and stuff in a decentralized fashion, right? Which I think is amazing on its own, something that could be entertaining on Adult Swim or something like that, right? And I think that we're going to see a future to where, you almost have these projects like in DeFi is like Kickstarters for these type of, use cases, whether it be entertainment or, bringing together people that are fans of something or, sports betting, whatever thing that's your interest or niche. But these meme coins bring those type of people together, where as right now, just like in real life, I might meet 1 out of 100 people that even know about crypto, and it's very hard to find likewise people. So I think people also love the fact that we have company of people similar to us, right? We want people around, to validate our passions, and you're not going to find that in the real world. You're only going to find it, here in DeFi, here in the communities, where there's other people that share a disposition, right?
Right. Well, I appreciate you pump it up, Doug, for what we're trying to do here in the crypto space.
Dude, you guys are freaking rock stars. Like, if you have not watched, what are you guys up to now? Like 11 or 12 episodes? Like, you guys are making content that 20 years ago would have been on TV. And there's no more TV now. Now it's your handheld device. And guess what? you're the next generation of entertainment, and you're bringing that together through your community in DeFi, which, I mean, is absolutely amazing, man.
Well, I highly recommend everybody who's listening to the space to go and check out our Doug the Duck on YouTube. We are 400 people away from 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. Dude, the Pondcast YouTube has like less than a couple, like 2,500 to 5,000. Like, that's pretty freaking wild. I mean, we've had Soka Data, we've had in this space. We've had Crypto Ken and Artemis, the professor from the lab, Pablo Crow, UK Crypto Queen, and obviously now you guys. Our podcasts are starting to get just as big as the episodes of all of our different stories and stuff. You know, a lot of our videos and a lot of our animated series and stuff have hundreds of thousands of views, and honestly, these podcasts are no different. I think I was just looking on X, and we have a little over 200 people live listening in on this space right now. So we know what we're doing is leading to good success. And for the investors that are investing in Doug the Duck, you know, we want to praise to you, and we appreciate you, and we appreciate our community. And obviously, you know, me as the speaker, Bator and Crypto Buckets as some of the leading devs, our artists, Digital Daddy, and some of our other artists, our marketing team. You know, we've all been here for the start, you know, for 6 months, and there's not a lot of projects out there that survive for 6 months sitting above a $1.5 million market cap, and we're super happy for that, and we think our investors are super happy, and we know the value that we have in the project, and we understand that when this normie craze comes in, there's going to be a lot of people that are looking for good projects to invest in. So, you know, we hope we're doing the right things and getting the word out there. And obviously, I just want to thank again, having both you, Walt, and Kid Crypto coming out to the space here today to just talk about crypto, talk about your guys' lives, talk about your thoughts on meme coins and the current crypto space. I just want to say that we've absolutely appreciated having you guys here today.
Yeah, no, I definitely appreciate you guys as well. You know, I would honestly look at Doug almost like I would look at, I'll throw a comparison out there of a project I really like that just finally busted through recently. Pop Dog, you know, had been sitting, you know, holding steady for months and months, you know, almost similar time frame. And you know, the team over there had been a squeaky wheel holding spaces, really contributing to highlighting other projects, influencers, and things much like yourself, right? And, you know, I truly believe what you guys are doing is building bridges all around, you know, with a lot of different people, and people don't forget that sort of stuff. And I believe that you guys are on the precipice of having, you know, like a breakout, right? To where people, it's going to click, honestly, I believe, with Doug the Duck, because you guys have been out there paying your dues to the DeFi community, you know, creating this awesome content, creating awesome animations, you know, and something that's enjoyable for everybody. And, you know, I truly believe that, you know, the clock is ticking on this project before it starts to, you know, go to new heights, because, you know, I saw that with Pop Dog. He stayed squeaky wheel. He was out there being heard, creating spaces, jumping, and you guys have, you know, done that as well. And I truly believe that this is criminally undervalued in comparison to a lot of original projects that are similar. And just wanted to put that out there. And yeah, we know the Mighty Ducks never lose, man.
Well, we appreciate you having here on the space and stuff. Thank you very much for having us out here today, and we look forward to having another good couple of spaces with you guys in the future on your guys' show, the world famous Kid and Walt show. If you didn't know, check out their show every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, if I'm correct, right, Kid?
We've actually made some additions, so I'll give you a quick rundown real quick. Tonight, Friday night's open mic night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. UTC. Tomorrow is our Spanish spaces at 7 p.m. Eastern, midnight UTC. Sunday, we have noon Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. UTC. And then we also have Tuesday and Thursday, both 9 p.m. EST, 2 a.m. UTC. So we have 6 shows now going around the week to towards different crowds, different global groups and stuff. Like our Sunday shows more Eurocentric with viewership. Our weekday shows are more Eastern / North America, on those later shows on the weekdays and stuff. So we have everything that you could possibly need. Tonight is Culture Night, so feel free to come in to the space 9 p.m. Anybody can come up and show the project. All I expect is make some noise with your community on the post, and we'll pull you up for quick pitches. And that's all for the culture and just to show love to the greater DeFi community.
Beautiful, man. Well, I appreciated having you, and I appreciated having Walter here today, man. You guys are absolute crypto chads in the space, and with this being, I think, our 6th or 7th podcast, it's still amazing the type of people that we're getting on this podcast to talk about crypto, to talk about their coming up in crypto. I think the people that are in the cryptocurrency space really like to appreciate and hear where you come from, because at the end of the day, every single person that we have had on the Pondcast just came from real life. They were real life people. They had a real life job. They made it in crypto. They realized that they were comfortable to speak on spaces. So this is for all of our listeners that are out there listening and stuff today. Make sure that you're getting out there. Make your voice be heard. Feel comfortable getting up on spaces. Chat with people. Try new things, because you never know where this crazy world can take you. So with that being said, we are going to sign off here for today. All you mother duckers, just want to say I absolutely appreciate you. I see those legs paddling at the surface level of the pond. You look calm as a mother ducker, and we absolutely appreciate you. So have a great day. Have a great weekend. Check out Kid Crypto and Walt's spaces. They're absolutely amazing, and you could find some amazing winners on those outlets. So appreciate you guys, and have a great weekend.